All right. Good morning, everyone. It is Tuesday, April 1st. We're taking a look at NASDAQ as always. Yesterday, one of the main focus points was how price was going to be responding to that 19,100 level of interest. That was the low from September, I believe it was. Let's take a look here. Yeah, early September. So we have that low, daily time frame low, pretty big pivot there from September. Yesterday gets tested, a little bit of an overshoot to trade down into 19K level of interest there, and then a rally for the rest of the day. Almost, I think it was like a little bit more than a 500-point move there off of the lows. Pretty significant move in NASDAQ. One of the levels that sellers were really looking to defend was the 19,350. And the significance of that level is that prior near term range low right here from early mid March, right through here. Now, sellers wanted to defend that point to trigger this intermediate term back into a bearish backdrop. As of right now, I'm still considering it neutral, near term, definitely bearish, intermediate term, a little bit more neutral. What I'm going to be looking at for this morning is how price responds to 19,350. That's that main level of interest. And again, the idea here is we want to see how's price going to be responding to this zone right through there. Just looking at the market structure. So if 350 fails, we do see 350 fail. Watch for price to trade back into potentially overnight low, that 250 level of interest, and a prior day volume point of control is an area where I'll pay close attention to see how price responds there. Should give us some good clues. Got the open here in about 15 seconds. So let's see what we're working with. We do have data prints this morning, 9:45 and 10 a.m., just FYI. So here's price right into 350 off the open. Great volume this morning. Session volume point of controls right there at 365. Like that as a reference point. Very, very slight gap lower there. NQ getting into 400. Last week's low is right there at 411. Another reference point I like to personally keep. So see that there's prior day close, small gap just about filled there. Getting into some pre-market structure. There's a nice little push versus the 350. Gotta love levels of interest. Yeah, so a little overnight structure right there here. First data print of the morning in about 10 minutes. Right back into that 350 area. Session volume point of control shifted higher. And Q technically with a new low of day right there. See if the overnight low trades. Overnight lows down at 283. Yeah, we got that first data print about 7 minutes. That's going to be your final manufacturing PMI. And then at 10 a.m., we have JOLTS. See if that overnight low trades NQ into the lows. Session volume point of control shifted back into 365. So NQ for the most part still just kind of within this pre-open structure, pre-market structure right there. $4.11 as an upside reference point. That's last week's low. RTH. We got some Fed speak ongoing right now. It was a wait for data sort of morning. What do we have? 4 minutes. First print. For now, we know 350 is holding decently well. There's 411. Yeah, I like to see price leave this structure right here. Look at this opening 15-minute bar. Closes in 2 minutes, currently shaped like a doji. NQ411 trading again. We've got the first data print here in 30 seconds. Irv, check your think tank DM. So 411's on watch, 350 on watch. Like to see price leave this structure, like I said. Taking a look at the other indices, you've got ES bumping up against VWAP, YM into session lows, and RTY with a bounce into overnight low. There's that first data print. Nothing Berg. That just leaves jolts in 15 minutes. Main focus level so far this morning, just to kind of remind us of the context, 19,350 holding as support. If we revisit, say, a 2-hour chart here, it's kind of the focus through here. So still in that zone, but so far looking pretty good. Looking decent. And Q is your new high a day. New highs being made. So getting out of that pre-open structure right there. Session highs coming into prior day high 489 is your prior day high for NASDAQ. You got S&P session highs 5650. How are we doing? 10 minutes till 10 a.m. Couple of long setups there versus 350 looked all right. Nothing to write home about. Let's see what else we get here. Cash, 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 cash. There's your intraday fib. Little pullback to the shallow fib there. Prior session high holds as support. Yeah, I wouldn't want to start my day with that trade either, dumb. Don't blame me one bit for that. NQ getting back into that 411 area. Don't forget that 10 a.m. data too. 38% fib being tested. The 50% currently sits with volume point of control. You got VWAP right there as well, 61%. And data in about 6 minutes. Jolts in 6 minutes. Yeah, let's get this data print behind us. One thing I'm looking at right now, NQ still in the prior day's range, near that late day consolidation from Friday, where all that volume was, that volume point of control before the big gap lower. So caution still warranted here in this zone. Remember, we're still pretty much here. Still here. Next 15 is tough. This next candle closure, yeah. Yep. YM and Russell respecting VWAP. It's a pretty slow morning so far, though. 90 seconds till jolts. Let's check on the bot. Well, the bot triggered a signal there, but did not buy. Godspeed. All right, last warning, data in 15 seconds. Last chance. If you have open positions, that spread is opening. Wow. Everything freezes. It's always hilarious how both platforms will freeze, Tradeovate and TradingView. Well, pretty much still here. Spread is still incredibly wide, but NQ is still right here near 400. So location, I don't currently love here in NASDAQ. We'll see the reaction if we get back into 350. Otherwise, I like to see if buyers can kind of clear this area right through here. Opens up a little bit above there. Prior day fib shows that shallow fib is right here near our 350 level of interest. Here comes 350. Yeah, so if we see a failure here, so 350 is going to be treated. Like I said, if we see that failure here, I want to be cautious with any longs, at least until prior day volume point of control area down near 250. Decent uptick in volume. NQ coming into that 411 again. That was decent through there. Could have had a tighter entry. We may get trailed out. Good for a scalp. We'll take it. There's the trail. There is the trail. So no break above that 411. Session volume point of control right through there as well. Now at this point, I'm extra patient. Extra patient. YM into the lows. That rejection at VWAP we mentioned earlier. Beautiful. Russell down there near the lows as well. S&P rejected 5650 down near session lows. So NQ need some break from this structure right through here. What I was referring to earlier is kind of the pre-open structure. Buyers really looking for some push above that kind of 430 area. Otherwise, very congested through here. Patience going to be key anywhere in this area. Unless you like getting chopped up. In that case, have at it. You can see the struggle in that 400 session volume point of control right through there. Last week's low, 411. There's your new low of day. Like I said, that initial bounce versus 350, not showing follow through above 411. Bit concerning for buyers. So overnight low, downside reference if you need it. I'm staying patient now, like I said. Steve picked up 27 points. Nice. ES through that overnight low. Next 5-minute candle closes up here in a couple seconds. Yeah, buyers definitely still putting up a bit of a fight here. Following yesterday's trend day, big bounce, big bounce move. There's your new low. New low of day, NASDAQ. Looking at overnight low down into 283. Loosely aligns with that 38% fib and some prior day structure. Kind of afternoon resistance point. Here it comes. Then beneath that, you've got the 250 level of interest, which of course, levels of interest always more important than a reference point like overnight low. All right, a few points away from that overnight low, 283 on watch. So far, we still have an inside day, partial retracement of the prior day move. There's your 38% fib. Again, just watching the overnight low here as a reference point. The rest of the indices just puking. ES, YM, RTY, all fresh session lows. ES is getting into that prior day volume point of control area, 5,600 level of interest. Next 15-minute bar just opened up. Trailed the 350 short. Nice, Dom. A little bounce and reject. See that on the 30-second. Looks pretty good. Mm. Yeah, that was a nice play. Kind of a shallow entry, but still pretty nice. All right, Ray, take care, man. Have a good one, sir. No new trades for me just yet after that 350 bounce. I'm going to see if this overnight low is actually going to trade. And then if we see weakness below overnight low, again, you're looking at a 250 level of interest. 250. All right, here's that overnight low NQ, new low of day. 283.25. Has not actually traded yet. Low is 285.5. All right, Steve, take care, man. There you go. There's that overnight low. So I'm watching this whole zone here. See how that 5 minute starts to build out. Back above that overnight low. See how this next 5 minute closes. Decent little spring there. No entry for me. ES, nice bounce versus the 5,600 level of interest. Almost to the tick with the prior day volume point of control right there as well. All right, there's your 350 level of interest being retested. It's the move I was looking for. Did not find an entry that I love though. Anyone grab that? Decent bounce there. There's that 50% fib, 350 level of interest. No real surprise to see sellers reload right there. Fib sell zone level of interest. All right, Irv, take care, man. NQ back in at 350. Let's see how it's going to be treated. Buyers trying to force a little bit of a higher low right there. We'll see if they are successful. I like to see some action above 350. Per my playbook. Wanted that long near overnight low. Didn't see an entry that I really loved, so missed that one. Nicole got the ES long on 5,600. Nice. That was a clean bounce there for a reversal trade. So NQ is still bumping into this 50% fib. You got VWAP just overhead. Definitely not an easy spot. That prior day structure point we talked about 15 or 20 minutes ago held pretty nicely. Still within the prior day's range. As of right now, it's just an inside day. Not all that surprising given yesterday's move, right? Volume's still above minimum threshold, but tapering off a bit. All right, we're 1 hour into the sesh. How's everyone's morning? Saw a few already hit daily goal and logged off. Throw a quick poll in the chat. A lot of green in the poll. That's good. It's always good. 350 holding decently well. We have session volume point of control shifted into 357. NQ into VWAP. Yeah, there's a nice push right there. Can't complain about that. Cannot complain. Back in a 411. Not too far off session highs, actually. That overnight low spring, yeah. I took a more aggressive entry that has paid off nicely. Little microstructure there near 350. This will be my last trade of the morning. Trail below 400. And there's the trail. There is the trail to the tick. Oh man, pain. All good. What we had there, about 80 points to the day, so tough to complain about that. We'll take it. We will take it. Decent morning. The main play that I wanted that I missed was actually down here. This overnight low. Should have just grabbed the 1 minute signal, but thought I'd get something a little bit cleaner than that. And alas, I did not. So decent morning. I'm gonna go ahead and call it a morning right there. NQ 350 definitely stays on watch. That 250 stays on watch, of course, both levels of interest, but we want to see if buyers are able to take the highs and then how that prior day high is going to be treated. Because remember, yesterday's daily bar is a hammer. So they're really looking for that follow through. Hope you guys had a good morning. We'll keep it going in the Traders Think Tank here. Free 14-day trial if you want to come trade the late morning session with us. Otherwise, we will see you tomorrow morning. Have a great rest of your day and thanks for your time today.